You're listening to the Timey-Wimey Tea Time Podcast, a geekyantics.net production where lovely and amazing people talk and ponder anything and everything about Doctor Who, science fiction, fantasy, zombies, the end of the world, creativity, writing, and, oh heck yes, anything else that geeks speak, question and think. You're listening to the
Timey-Wimey Tea Time.
Falafel is OP, and so are gyros. What is smarma, really? What is smarma? Who knows? But it's probably delicious too, especially if they have that slow-cooked, slow-roasted, meat on the skewer. Oh, kind of rotisserie, so delicious.
You're making me hungry.
Ask Stan about the roast pork shoulder that I make.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. Should have brought some with me, but, I was already traveling pretty heavily. Had a lot of stuff in tow. But welcome, guys. This is the post-show of Timey-Wimey Tea Time. It's a much more liberal, casual discussion of things. We got a few things we wanted to discuss today, but we're pretty much going to let it flow. We're going to open up the lines right now to some call-ins if you want to just be part of the banter. So I am now officially online. I'm no longer on D&D mode on Skype. You could call in. People will hear the messages, so don't go crazy bombing with messages. But just add me on Skype, YogiZilla. You can call in and join the discussion. We're gonna talk about episode 6, series 8 of Doctor Who. Some speculation. We're gonna look ahead into some of the episodes we know of thus far, the titles, and talk about what's in the name and kind of guess at what we could expect. Some more speculation. A little bit about zombie apocalypse then. Some the fall TV season is here, so it's a pretty big deal, especially for us Americans. There's some quality stuff there. And we're gonna talk about some of the stuff we've encountered, some stuff that we've discovered, some familiar faces, and some things that are coming back. And I think that we'll wrap us up, so because we can't keep Stan too long. He might have to even leave before we finish, which I understand if you have to, bro. No pressure.
Thank you, dude.
So let's jump right into it. Episode 6 speculation. Episode 6 is titled Caretaker, and of course, in their usual fashion, they spoiled the heck out of the next episode by showing us important scenes from it, so we already know what to expect. And in the spoiler teaser, we see the Doctor as a custodian, caretaker person in the school where Clara works, and then Danny Pink's there, of course. He's obviously a fixture in this story arc, this overall story arc. So I know, Stan, you were kind of like, let's move on. That's not working, but we're stuck with him. I'm sorry, man.
Yeah, this is some poor excuse for multicultural casting. But if you're gonna bring a minority into the show, make them epic.
Yeah.
Danny is not epic.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's just pandering. It's like, hey, we'll have an Asian, and a Latino, and a black guy.
Yeah, where are the Asians and Hispanics, by the way?
Yeah. Well, black people, that's the universal minority representation. It's like, okay, we have the black people, and then we have a little bit of LGBT love. We're good.
That's racist.
I'm just saying, that's what people think. It's like, let's pander. If we do that, then they can't say we're not, we don't encourage diversity. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying I agree with it. But that's what I notice. It's inauthentic. You know, but King Beam says us lazy Americans, America, eating anything deep fried, shooting shotguns, getting so fat you attempt to use the force to levitate it off the coffee table, all compressed into one word. People often say it when they see Americans doing things only Americans can do, such as trimming a hedge with a chainsaw, eating quadruple burgers with extra lard, and driving tractors in the middle of a freeway. What the heck?
Where's he coming from? Where's he going with that?
I don't know. He's going further with this, and then BFT interjects and goes, "That brought a tear to my star-spangled heart. Aha, the feels they're coming in." They are reported, Americans, I'm assuming they, to relive acts of true American spirit, like drinking 2-liter bottles of Diet Cola, mind you, driving trucks into frozen creeks, getting pointless tattoos of American birds on their backs. There's a lot of pointless tattoos out there, I'm sorry to say. Eating processed nacho cheese on a bacon cup. And tucking their AK-47s in their pillows, ordering 27 Big Macs at McDonald's with a side salad, and so much more. What is this? Does this become a documentary? But so back to the caretaker. You guys can't call in. Add me on Skype, YogiZilla. You're welcome to join for the tea time here. Though I did not refill on my drink. I think I'm properly caffeinated as it is, and I might be piercing some eardrums right now. So I'm sorry if I'm a little louder and hyped up than usual. This is normal me. This is me, fully energized, super excited. If you want to see more of me right away, a little shameless self-promotion, you can catch me on my personal Twitch channel, twitch.tv/YogiZilla, which after this, after taking a little break, a real break, I'm going to probably go straight back into streaming. Though I do need to do a lot of podcast stuff. Got to get these videos up and all that good stuff. But yeah, I'm going to be doing some fundraising for Blue, my little kitty who's going through a little tough time. And I appreciate all the support so far. And I'm going to play some games. It's going to be fun. You can see me fail in FTL, Crypt and the Necro Dancer, and you know, maybe Trace Chamber. Lots of different games on rotation, so stay tuned. And I like to play some lesser played games, lesser known games to give the indie developers more love. So yeah. So here's our speculation. Yes, it's a doctor. Here's our speculation of episode 6. So will the doctor continue to be an accidental hero? In other words, the anti-hero. He seems to be taking some ownership. Yeah, I think he is. The caretaker, right? So he's an earthly doctor. Can he fit in as a human? You know, and this is something we've both said. Has he been properly humanized enough, you know?
Well, you remember, you talked about this before. I forget the name of the episode when he had a roommate. And,
yes.
You know, he was investigating that alien ship at the top of the building.
Mm-hmm.
We get to see some human aspect.
That episode with the roommate, which I liked his roommate. He was good in his role, and the Christmas episode, where he's in the town of Christmas, no less. The Time of the Doctor, I believe, is the title. That's probably the most humanized, the most human Doctor that we've seen of the new series since 2005. Would you say that's pretty on point?
Yeah, and he was. I mean, that was a warm, gentle side of the Doctor that we got to see in the Christmas Village.
By the way, guys, good news. TWTT and Timey-Wimey at geekyanswers.net. So TWTT at geekyanswers.net and Timey-Wimey at geekyanswers.net will both work now. And they'll send email messages directly to myself, Yomar, and Stan, so we could address your concerns.
Awesome.
In relatively fast fashion. And a lot of love for these episodes we just mentioned. Also, BFT also adds the time. Also, don't forget the time he lived with the Pawns for a while investigating the cubes. Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
Good call.
Yes, absolutely. And we love the Pawns. We miss them. And we're about to tell you in a second here that if you want your Karen Gillan fix outside of Guardians of the Galaxy, which is an awesome movie, and I do not say that lightly. There's a place where you can catch her, but we'll get into that. All right. So, do we want the Doctor to be more humanized? You know, full of fail and confusion, despite 2,000 plus years of experience, time, space travel, and time, space society and culture, or do we want a larger than life hero? You know,
Larger than life hero.
yeah. I mean, as much as we want him to be a bastion of hope for humanity and represent those core values that I think they need to be communicating here. We want the epic. Bring the epic. Bring more of it, like we're used to. We're spoiled already. 50 plus years, we've come to expect a certain pedigree of Doctor, a certain caliber of story. You know, we can be spoiled about it at this point.
Look, he can be epic, and he can have a heart, and he can do silly things, but he always has to be epic.
Yes. What we have seen that makes him more human. Let's see. I don't know. What have we seen? I don't think we should go there right now. But he certainly does feel lonely. And we're not getting into specifics, but he feels lonely, and he may be developing a codependent relationship with Clara. That much we know for sure.
Dun dun dun.
Or dun dun dun. The little change in inflection changes the whole thing, right? But Clara did not save the day in Time Heist, but neither did the memory deleted Doctor. So there's a vacuum there for the heroics. It's kind of a shame. They tell us that the Doctor did save the day. They want us to believe that, but telling us and letting us see with our own eyes are two very different things.
True that.
So in this caretaker episode, do you have any things you're thinking? Like, now we've set stage. You know, what do you think's gonna happen, or what do you think needs to happen on episode 6?
He's gonna BOP. He has to, or I'll be really disappointed. He's gotta take on the bad guys, mano y mano.
You know, I have a gripe. This is a very personal gripe, not one that I've heard many people talk about. But for me, I think this is the kind of the purple cow, or the elephant in the room, if you will. The Doctor spends a lot of time on Earth, and a lot of time in London. I'd like to see more locales. It's a vast universe. Let's see some exotic locations, you know? Again, expand the universe, not just the characters, but also the locations. And, you know, there's such a great mythos to work with. Just do more with that.
The BBC can't afford it.
All right, so maybe they can't... I get it. They can't film on location because that's expensive. But they could create some sets that make us believe we're somewhere different. I'm not saying they have to go to New Zealand and, you know, do something crazy on location. But there's a happy medium. There's a peaceful middle ground, I'm sure, they could work with.
They can go to Romania because production costs are lower there.
And they might pay them to go there to bring some...
Exactly.
Yeah, because they'll bring some tourism and whatnot. There's ways you can work out those deals. And I know that for a fact. I know people that are involved in film and TV. So I know they could work it. Come on, BBC. You got the clout. Let's make it happen. So Kingdom says that he's lost and confused and needs someone to show him the light. And Clara can't do it. She can't do that because she's going to hurt him with Mr. Pink. Aw. There's an attachment there. No matter how much they're trying to put up a smokescreen, there's an attachment there. There's an attraction there. I don't care what they say or what they intend. It's there. So in this episode 6, I personally would like to see... I mean, it's an Earth story. So I want to see a more humanized Doctor, a Doctor that clearly cares and there's no ambiguity to his morality or his decisions, his actions. That's important. And maybe a little less of Danny Pink. I want to see... You know what? We did not say that. In Time Heist, there was far more of a focus on the Doctor and his companion. I think out of this season, there's been the most scenes that we've seen with them in there together. You know? Because there's been a lot of like switching scenes and locations and flip-flopping, and it's made me a little, I don't know. It's discerning to me. Or perturbing, rather.
I hear that.
So, you know, I think this episode... I don't think this is going to be an episode that's going to really wow us. And I'm not being cynical about it, but I think episode 7 might be that. Simply because, and so let's look ahead. Alright, so episode 6 of series 8 has been written by Gareth Roberts and Stephen Moffat. And Moffat can do great things, but I want to see some other people do things and have more freedom in what they're doing. So, in episode 7, Kill the Moon, Peter Harness, I believe, is the writer. And no Stephen Moffat. That's important.
Yay!
Then in episode 8, we got Mummy on the Orient Express, written by Jamie Matheson. And then Flatline, episode 9, is written by Jamie Matheson. So we might start seeing a real progression without this preoccupation with, creating these really reaching for these really extensive, overarching stories. We need some immediate gratification and substance at hand for each episode. A more episodic progression of things, so you can enjoy each episode on its own, right? Can we agree on that?
Okay.
Okay. You sound like you're almost like, okay, you twisted my arm. I'm going to agree with that.
I keep thinking of the title Flatline.
Flatline? Yeah, I definitely get a sense of foreshadowing there. That's a very deliberate name. It might be misdirection though, but will someone die?
Or are they talking about Series 8 in general?
Oh, don't be that guy. Well, let's see what it's saying here. So Kingdom says Danny is going to be taken along with them, like Amy and Rory. I don't know if I'd like that. Now, the gentleman that plays Danny Pink, I believe his name is Robert Kingsley or something, or Ben. No, I forget what his name. I'm not even gonna try to attempt his.
Samuelson, I think.
Samuelson. That sounds right. He's a great actor. He's good. It's just I don't like the character that much right now. Kingdom says also that this is one of the most child-friendly stories of this year's run so far. It's one which, after recent standalone episodes, gently brings some of the bigger plot lines back into play to tee up the episodes to come. I can see that. We've had a couple of filler episodes, standalone episodes. There were fun romps. So it needs to be that. So I think Kingdom is getting this from someone. He must have a source. 10 things to watch out for: sand piranhas and fish people. 2 former companions are mentioned. One of the very first and one of the most recent. The Dr. Whistle is a well-known education-related song from 1979. Oh, I think I know what it is. Like it or not, it's going to happen. Samuel Anderson, thank you. Samuel Anderson. What did I get? Ben Kingsley? No, that's
So I confused it with. I said Samuelson.
Yeah, I confused. I was completely off. Ben Kingsley is Sir Ben Kingsley, gentleman from the House of Sand and what's it called? The one with Jennifer Connelly. That's a good movie. A movie about people that are territorial and angry and don't know how to resolve their differences. That's basically it. Or you can say it's about racism if you want. It's a good movie. The House of Sand is something. I forget what it's called. It's a good movie. If you haven't seen it, I would recommend it. It's a good film. Makes you think about it. It's really good. It makes you think about how jacked up human beings can be sometimes. It's about not letting go and desperately holding on to things and letting that turn into evil, basically. But each side of the conflict feels like they're justified. It's that kind of thing. It's interesting. I like it. Something you could definitely revisit. But anyway, so I think I'm hopeful that this will be. So if they're saying the plot lines are going to come back in a big way, in a significant way, I want to believe that. So this could be the start of big things. So we've seen the head through episode 12, as far as our sources are concerned. So episode 9 was Flightline, or it's going to be Flightline. Then episode 10, in the Forest of the Night. Episode 11, Dark Water. Episode 12, Death in Heaven. That's a very significant choice in name. And that's as far as head as we've seen.
You mean they're going to bring Missy back?
Oh, she's gonna come back before that, definitely.
You think so?
Yes.
Or is that going to be? Is that going to be the story about Missy?
Well, the thing was significant is death is bringing people to heaven, Paradisio, or whatever it's supposed to be. Is that supposed to be the promised land? You know, they're kind of hinting at that. But if someone's dying in heaven, there's something else going on here. So things are not what they seem. Right? Could death in the afterlife? Really? Woof. That's scary. They're going there. Yes, Ben Kingsley did play Mahatma Gandhi too, yep. It's probably one of the more well-known roles. I just like that movie with Jennifer Connelly in it because of the story in there. It's a very powerful story. Oh yeah, he was in Iron Man 3 as well. Yeah, he's been in a lot of stuff. But, and a great actor, definitely. He's one of the greats of our times, I would say. Ben Kingsley. Sir Ben Kingsley. But, what do you think about these titles, and did they make you, did they get kind of, did they trigger an emotional response? Did they get you thinking? Or are you just going to take it day by day, episode by episode, as it comes?
Yeah, I'm going to take it episode by episode.
All right.
I'm intrigued by Mummy on the Orient Express. I don't know why.
I am too. That one calls out to me. But with a name like that, I'm worried that it might be another fun romp. It's like, no, don't make it another filler episode, please. From here on, I think we need to develop this plot. They set the bar really high, dropping, you know, these hints, you know, creating a breadcrumb trail, you know, making us speculate and assume things perhaps. Now we need to start filling in those blanks, I feel. We need each of these episodes need to be great on their own and build up that overall story that they're setting up right now.
Exactly.
House of Sand and Fog, that's the one, yep. I knew it was Sand and something. As BFT said, that doesn't sound structurally sound. Ooh, that doesn't seem structurally sound, sorry. What doesn't? The way that they're setting up these stories? Yeah, that could be scary. So yeah, we're gonna move on. But if there's any one of these names that call out to you, let us know. If there's any episode you're particularly excited about, it's worth noting that Stephen Moffat seems like he's gonna or he's already taken a break. These are probably already all they've probably all been filmed, but they were doing the Christmas episode not too long ago. But all of these episodes, except for 6, 11, and 12, no crediting of Stephen Moffat as a writer. Worth noting. So you might see a different direction. So we'll see him in his touch in The Caretaker as a co-writer. Obviously, as a producer, he's gonna be involved in showrunner, and then he's gonna wrap up with 11 and 12. Now, Stan, how many episodes do we usually see each season?
I thought it was 13.
I think you might be right. So 12
if you include
episodes.
The Christmas special.
Right. Yeah, I think you're right. They're rather short, relatively speaking, they're rather short seasons. Wait a minute. And are they going to take a break in the middle of this season like they've done before? I hope not. I just thought about that. Oh, man. I hope they're just going to keep going. They need to go through the whole season, the whole series. They really do.
Uh-huh.
I'm greedy right now. I want it. I don't want a break in between. I mean, we have plenty of content to discuss, to share with you guys, but I don't want to have to wait. I'm sorry.
Well, if it's set up this way, so they end in November.
Yeah, and
minus the Christmas special.
And they might have a little break and then have the Christmas episode.
Right.
That makes sense. I could go for that. Now, King Demon likes Dark Water and Death in Heaven. So right now we are halfway through Series 8, to put it in perspective. So Dark Water, Death in Heaven. Yeah, the wrapping up. Those are some very good names. Dark Water, that was also a Jennifer Connelly film, by the way. Coincidence? I don't know. I'm reaching again. Oh, okay. The BFT say that what he was talking about that doesn't seem structurally sound is a house made of sand and fog. What's the point? Things they crumble because that's not very good engineering there. Sand and fog. Those will be our building materials. No bueno. No me gusta. So anyway, let's go beyond Doctor Who. Yes, they were written. Those last 2 episodes are written by Stephen Moffat. So you're either gonna love it or hate it. I mean,
let's talk about Selfie, dude.
You want to just straight into Selfie?
And then I'm out of here. Yeah.
Okay. And then I'll keep it going for a little while. So if you guys want to call in after Stan has to leave, but yeah, Selfie. So 2 thumbs up from Stan and I, and I mean, this is a romantic comedy sitcom. You know, that's redundant, I know. Sitcom, situational comedy, and it has the potential to be bigger than Seinfeld. I would say so. I think Seinfeld, in many ways, was overrated. It had great characters, but sometimes Jerry Seinfeld himself, he's a hard pill to swallow at times, I feel. He's not a very nice person in real life, from what I've seen.
Well, you know, Kramer kind of kept it going for a long time.
Yeah. Kramer, I like the girl's name was Mary Louise. No, that's not her name, is it? Dreyfus Roof? I forget her name. Whoever her character is. See, I tell you how much I don't really care for the show. Yeah. But at the time, Seinfeld was like the zeitgeist of you know, mainstream culture and people that were fans of comedy. It's like everybody was talking about it. If you did not watch Seinfeld, you weren't part of the water cooler conversations. And I think Selfie could become that, but in a good way, because I think there's actually substance in this show. That
would be awesome.
So Karen Gillan, Doctor Who's Amy Pond, and also Guardians of the Galaxy's Nebula. She looks good, even bald, dude. She's a very beautiful lady. Dude, she shaved her hair completely, and I'm like, oh my gosh, she's still attractive. Maybe there's something wrong with me. Or maybe I'm a bit of a Karen Gillan fanboy. Or maybe all of the above. But Karen Gillan's in this show, along with John Cho, who I'm a big fan of. He's a good actor, and they have such a wonderful dynamic together. So they rocked the pilot episode. It's a wonderful premiere. But will that potential that they've kind of built up for us in this pilot, will it be realized through the season and many more seasons to come? Time will tell. But I love it. You know, I love this show mainly because it's a modern day story that has timeless lessons in there. But you know, they're done very naturally. It's beautifully, and it's entertaining. So the substance is immediate value with the entertainment. It's funny, it's fun, it's lighthearted, but then it also has some deepness to it. And I also like the presentations. It's got a nice stylized presentation to it. It's clever. It's just clever writing, clever presentation. I like the characters they've introduced so far. It's a nice little world they crafted, and you know, feeling devoid of Amy Pond, it's good to have her be on the show. It's not the same character, but you know,
I kind of thought it was the same character.
Did you? I'm trying to think about it. Like, she's more was I don't know. Was Amy Pond kind of ditzy?
Yeah.
You think so?
She was never wise.
That's true. But this is a very overt kind of derp going on here.
Oh yeah.
You know. And Amy Pond, she was more deep in terms of her emotional range. Whereas the new character that Karen Gillan's playing, Eliza, she is more superficial, and she's starting to explore the full range of her emotions because she's been repressed for so long. Oh my gosh, Nick has like the worst time. He's sending me an image on Skype. You know that's coming up on the recording. Thanks. How dare you, sir? Now, if you want to join the call, you join the call. Let's see what he sent me. What are your thoughts on this? What do you think about the show?
So, you know, I have to say that, you know, the first 10 minutes, I was very skeptical. I was like, oh man, this is too superficial for me. But
first of all, let's just say let's preface all this before we get deep on it.
Right.
Are you happy that I recommended this show to you?
I am.
All right, good.
But I had to get past that first 10 minutes.
Okay, fair enough. So why did you feel that way?
So, well, I can say now I like it because it's something old, something new, something borrowed, something blue, although there's no TARDIS yet. But I could see a life-size TARDIS in Henry's living room. You know, it could be the go-to place when he's feeling lonely in his ivory tower. You know, even in the beginning, I really liked the multimedia approach to the show. You know, they have pop-up graphics, you know, from Facebook, and they actually have a selfie of Karen that all the guys are going to love.
Which we have in the slideshow right now on Twitch and YouTube when we put up there.
Oh, yeah. And that was on... that was a public broadcast, so... You know, no one can complain about it.
Yeah. Well, people will still complain. It's like, oh, that's tasteless and it's not classy and blah blah blah.
Well, that's a part of the humor of the show, because Eliza is tasteless, and she doesn't have any class. While, you know, Henry theoretically is going to teach her.
But I think that she's going to teach him just as much as he'll teach her. They could both benefit from the relationship.
Yeah, and that's what's going to balance out the show, because it's not just about I don't know. I'm having a derp moment. So it's not just about a girl that's a derp, you know, that needs to be fixed. It's also about a guy that's deep, that needs a little love in his life. But will it go romantic?
Yeah, and you know, they both are an opposite. They're on extreme sides of a spectrum. She's all about attention and, you know, self-promotion, and he's a lot more conservative. You know, she's very tacky. You know, he's on the conservative side, and, you know, she's more outgoing. He's more kind of an introvert. You know, they're going to learn from each other in that aspect, because, you know, she's fun-loving. You could say Henry is arguably very boring. You know,
he's a type A personality. You know, he's focused on success and accomplishments.
Yeah, yeah.
Whereas, you know, she's the social media savvy, ADD, kind of clueless bourgeoisie personality. So, well, at least she's a cutie. and of course, what redeems her for me, at least in this first episode, is that she realizes that she lacks character and dignity. So there's hope for her.
Yeah.
Now, Henry doesn't yet realize that he has a problem. that may take some episodes.
Yeah, yeah. This is true. He's starting to see that he needs to lighten up, and she's already. This pilot episode, a lot has happened. He's already starting to lighten up, and he sees that, you know, he can't be all business and no play.
But it's just kind of amazing, because I think the show right now, without ads, is 26 minutes long, and they put so much story into it. I mean, there's a lot there.
That is crazy, isn't it? It was a very... I went back after you mentioned that. Like, really? Was it really that short? It did not feel like that at all.
I know. It was wild.
Now, there's a lot of quality there.
So, Eliza and Henry aren't the only interesting characters in Selfie. The big boss, Sam Saperstein, and the receptionist, the awesome receptionist, Charmonique, they promised to bring a lot of big bang for the buck. But I had this question.
Uh-oh.
How does Karen feel about getting out of that mostly white race box of UK media and into the multicultural mix of American pie-ness?
Well, you know, it's also worth noting that her American accent is arguably overdone, but it's not grating, right?
No.
You know, she pulls it off. It's rather convincing. If you did not know who she was, where she's from, where she grew up, you know, you could almost. I think you could believe it. You could buy it and not question it. But it's almost meant to be over the top and tongue in cheek, you know, campy kind of thing that they're doing
Right.
here. And that's cool. It works with what they're doing. It really works. By the way, thanks King Dean for showing us the mug. He's showing me his Doctor Who mug. That's what he took a picture of.
Awesome.
So random. But I really like her in this. You know, the difference. I've thought about this. The difference between her Amy Pond character and her Eliza Doolittle character is that Amy Pond's a little bit more girl next door, maybe perhaps a little bit tomboyish, and then Eliza Dooley. That's her real name. See what
That's
you
her
did there.
character's name. Yeah. Huh.
Yeah. You kept saying Doolittle when we were talking. And
Doolittle.
it got stuck in my head. Thanks. So Eliza Dooley, she's a lot more of like a girly girl, you know, fun-loving party, you know, the stereotypical kind of girl, you know, all about fashion and appearances and impressions and all that stuff. And they hint that she sleeps her way to the top. Like, she's supposed to be the top salesperson for the company she works for. And they kind of hint that she does that through nefarious means. You know. So there is a difference. But I think at the heart, she's still the same kind of character we love, you know. That sweet, innocent girl that you wanna love on her. And that's the feeling I got. Like, it's like, oh, Eliza, we love you, and not because
Well, there's a difference also because Eliza is hot. She's smoking hot, which Amy Pond never had the opportunity to do because those bigots over there have to make every woman look like a frump.
But I'm weird. I like that down to earth, subdued kind of look. That girl next door / geeky look.
Yeah,
but
Eliza does it. She does the dress down, and she looks fabulous.
Yeah, even when she dresses casually, her character is like, pow!
Yep.
So yeah, I agree. What else do you have? Any other observations? I know you gotta get going soon.
No, that's it.
So, by the way, if you guys do want to watch Selfie, there's only the pilot episode right now, and hopefully it does get picked up, because I don't know what the status of the show is. They're doing a lot of promotion around it, so I'm sure it's locked in for at least a season with all the promotion they've been doing for it. But we'll see. I haven't done that much research on it, because I don't want to be disappointed and saddened. But
the first episode is a home run.
It is.
So they can mess it up in the second episode, but this first episode, I mean, it's like, wow.
Yep. So, and it's not a situation where they blew their load in one show. Like they didn't like. It's not like they put a lot of budget and effort to the pilot episode. And you can tell that the rest is going to be. I think this is the kind of quality we can come to expect.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
And if you want to see it, you can go to ABC has a nice app on both Android and iOS, which works rather well. I like because I'm one of those weird people, you know, and for the rest of you out there that don't really watch TV, you can relate to this. I don't watch TV on a television. I watch it on my computer or a mobile device. I try to stay away from TV and cable because it's a time pit. I'm very picky about what I watch.
I hear you.
And Selfie is one that's a keeper.
But in the recap for this episode on geekyantics.net, I'll post a link so you can watch it on your computer.
Yeah, man. So you have to go yet? I'm not kicking you off, but I don't know yet. I'm trying to be mindful of time.
I'm going now.
You are?
Yeah, I am.
Any final thoughts, bro?
Man, I'll miss you guys.
Either. I'm gonna see if some people are gonna call in. It probably won't be much longer.
Man, get Nick to call in. Or is he shy?
I don't know. His kids might be a little wild right now. That might be why he's hesitant. If he's not able to send them out, you know. You gotta God bless bless their souls, little kids. You love them,
Gotta
but
love 'em.
they're little demons sometimes.
Oh yeah. All right, so I gotta say, I'm out of here. See you all next week, next Saturday. Looking forward to it.
Word, definitely.
Word. Peace.
Later, bro, and we'll watch Doctor Who later on today, hopefully together.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Word, and don't forget, you can reach Stan at Faryna, so you never feel completely devoid of some Stan and loving. That's at Faryna. Alright, brother. I'll check you later. Did he leave already? Yep, he did. Darn it. But Tiger Claw says, he's mobile too, he says, Karen, is it Karen Gillan as a whole, or Eliza the character? He says she's bangable hot. I can't disagree with that sentiment. She has an appeal to her because she's not like Karen Gillan as a person. She's not like I wouldn't say she's like the mainstream definition of hot. You know, like super curves, super skinny, but like, you know, big boobs, maybe some booty or whatever. You know, redheads, gingers or whatever. They tend to get some hate from people. But, you know, she's not the conventional beauty, but she has it's partly her personality, part of her physique, how she carries herself. I like it. I like her a lot. And I like the characters she's played from the things I've seen. But if you guys want to call in, again, I am YogiZilla on Skype. If not, I'm going to ramble on, and I apologize then. But feel free to call in. If you got a little bit of background noise, I'm not going to be... This is a post show, so it's not a big deal. It's not like I have to clean it up or anything. It will go up on YouTube, though. So, just a heads up. Bird, come on, man. I see you in the chat. Oh, Stan kept the Skype up this whole time. Silly. I was wondering if I was hearing that background noise. Oh, it's a lot more quieter now. Hello. Well, since no one's taking me up on an offer to call in, the other thing I was going to talk about is just kind of, you know, we're calling it the coming apocalypse, the end of the world, and the zombie apocalypse is what we're talking about. There's lots of zombie content. You're used to my rambling. Yeah, that's cool. It's part of my appeal. You love it. You love it. Yeah, there's lots of zombie content right now, especially now in the fall. Walking Dead's coming back for season 5, is it? I've lost track. And then Z Nation on Sci-Fi. I'm sorry, Selfie. It's actually pretty good. It brings us a more campy, action-first approach to zombies. You know, that's cool because, you know, they're jumping on the zombie bandwagon, much like people were jumping on the vampire bandwagon for a little while there. You know, those things, zombies and vampires, kind of come in and out of the meta. You know, that's a funny thing. But you know, The Walking Dead is more like a soap opera. I mean, Robert Kirkman himself says that The Walking Dead is more of a soap. You know, nothing wrong with that. It doesn't cheapen the experience, and that's to put down soaps. But it's more about, you know, the drama, you know, the things that human beings do to each other, you know, good and bad, and the emotions and the emotional baggage that we carry, right? I would also add to the zombie romp, The Strain. It's a vampire story, but it's got the zombie vibes going, so that's really cool. The Walking Dead comes back in 3 to 4 weeks, just before Walker Stalker Con Atlanta, which we'll be covering. ZombieCast, right here on allgames.com, we'll be covering Walker Stalker Con. I'm sure they're going to do the more serious interviews, but I'm going to just try to, especially if I don't get anyone else to come with us from our crew over at Geeky Antics, I'm just going to cover the fan side of it and just be a fanboy about Walker Stalker Con. It's actually my first time going, too, in person, in the flesh, so I'm very excited, but I'll be going as press. So if anyone wants to come, I might have some extra press badges. If you can make it out to Atlanta, we'll work it out. Especially if you have a video camera and some equipment, we could cover it more effectively. So Walker Stalker Con's coming up, and it'll be, I think, the Sunday before that, October the 17th, is when The Walking Dead comes back with the season premiere, if I'm not mistaken. It's hard to keep up with all this stuff. So much content. I mean, we got Gotham, the Gotham premiere that came out recently on Fox, which I actually was very surprised and impressed by. I was surprised because I didn't expect him to be able to do much with, no Batman really, and the focus on Commissioner Gordon. Well, he's not the commissioner right now. James Gordon, that's his name, right? James, first name James. But yeah, Gordon, he's a cool character. I like him. He's got no fear, that one. Well, he got fear, but he doesn't show it. He just dives in regardless of the consequences, and he really is all about the justice. So it's gonna be good. It's interesting. It's a crime story, but you could get the sense of the mythos of the Batman universe. And they have hints of other staples in there, like we've seen. I'm gonna spoil it. All right, spoiler. Ready? 3, 2, 1. The Penguin has already been introduced. So, as long as they keep bringing in characters that we're used to from the Batman universe, I think it'll be a good origin story and a nice little saga of sorts. So that's cool. More behind the scenes of Gotham and the things that we could come to expect and how things really got to the point they got to. Alright, so King Dean might be joining us if the money lines up. Yeah, I know it's tough to get out this, but you're not too far from Georgia. I mean, we're neighboring states. You're in Florida. I'm in Georgia. You could probably make the drive. You might be looking at about $150 round trip and gas, and then a day pass for Walker Stalker is like $70 now or $90. They raised it, and a weekend pass it might be 100 and change. I think it's 70 and 100. I want to say, so not a bad deal. And if you want access to the special events, it's a little extra, like priority VIP lines. They have VIP lines for the different actors that are gonna be there. If you want to get things autographed or whatever, we'll figure something out, man. Hopefully we can figure that out. But a bunch of the All Games folks are coming in, and a bunch of the Geeky Answers crew. So hopefully we could work something out there. We're gonna play it by ear mostly, though. I like to be agile. Thanks, Tiger Claw. I appreciate that. He said good show today, even though I know nothing about Doctor Who. But you asked some good questions, so that's good. You should check it out. It's not too late to jump into it. We've had a lot of people converted Doctor Who, and I want to remind everybody we don't just talk about Doctor Who. Just about a bit of everything, really. Fantasy, sci-fi, creative writing, lots of anime, just life as a whole. We go deep. Lots of tangents there. Doctor Who is just a vehicle for our passions, really. And one of the things we're most passionate about as well. But, so yeah, a lot of good zombie content. All this zombie content got me, and again, The Strain, by the way, is written and directed by Guillermo del Toro, which I'm a big fan of. Pan's Labyrinth, by the way, if you're not familiar with his work. He's done a bunch of other stuff too, but The Strain, I'm really enjoying this show. This is an FX show, so you'll need cable to watch it, or I'm sure you could do it through some streaming service or video on demand service. But I'm really enjoying The Strain. It's a very serious plot, very high production value, great characters, and even though it's a vampire story, it feels like a zombie or viral outbreak kind of story. It's really a really fresh take on it. I'm really loving it. But Z Nation, back to that. It's more of a fun romp. It's very campy. The dialogue's a little weak. Characters are decent, but it's fun. It's I think it's just meant to be a fun zombie story. It's kind of like if they took a B-rate zombie flick and adapted it to a series. That's pretty much Z Nation. But there's some quality there. So they're doing a lot of interesting things with zombies, different types of zombies, and different rules. So check that out. That's in Sci-Fi or Sci-Fi. Alright, enjoy the smoke, man. Do I think the Joker will show up on Gotham? There's been a lot of talk about that, but I think if you look at his age, he's about the same age as Batman, right? So are we gonna see a young Joker? Now, spoiler, we saw a young Catwoman. So I think you might see the Joker. I could have sworn when I saw the teaser that I saw someone that could be the Joker, but he was too old, so they didn't line up right. So unless they do some kind of retcon in there and just say, hey, this is not going to be canon, or it's not going to be part of the cinematic universe, there might be some wiggle room there. So we'll see. I'm hoping they find some, like they could have Ra in there. I think what his full name is. The dude that teaches Batman how to be a ninja and then ends up being a bad guy. Ramagul, Rasagul, you know what I'm talking about. The ninja homie. When who else could they bring in that would be old enough? They could bring in the Mr. Freeze as a scientist. A younger Mr. Freeze. He's an older character. But I don't think it's really going to do so much. I think it's going to be a lot of new characters, maybe lineage leading up to the characters we've come to know from the Batman universe. So, like the Joker's dad, or the Joker was beat up by his dad, wasn't he? That's why he's kind of jacked up. So that'd be interesting to see that. Did you guys catch, if you saw the premiere, the one criminal they pursued, his daughter's name was Ivy? Could that be a nod at Poison Ivy? I don't know. It could be. Might be something there. So they might keep just doing little things like that, little Easter eggs. But I think they're gonna try to just build some new stories. Ra's al Ghul. Okay, I was close. Yeah, he only teaches Batman to be a ninja in the Nolan movies. Yes, Nolan and North movies, not in the comics. I'm so out of the loop with comics. I haven't kept up for years, and I'm scared to go back in. 'Cause I know they've rebooted a lot of things. Yeah, in the comics, he's just a bad guy. He kicks ass. Yeah, Nolan, in the Hollywood, they always spin stories differently. The teacher becomes the adversary. The pupil outdoes the master. They had to bring that trope in. And it was a cool direction. So I'm wondering if the show will be more loyal to the comics or to the movies. I mean, I think to play it safe, they might just stay closer to the movies because they realize there's a wider audience there. Because let's face it, people don't like to read, even when there's pictures. It's sad, and I'm a writer. That's one of the many things I do to pay the bills. And I want to write some books and be self-published instead of ghostwriting, because doing commission work is cool, but you don't get credit. You don't get to build a brand for yourself. The money's good, but it could be tough when you're in between projects. But I think to myself, like, if you're gonna be a writer in this day and age, either you have to do an ebook or better yet, do an audiobook, because traditional published works, the physical stuff, it's a tougher sell these days, sadly. BFT says Joker's backstory is unknown, and Red Hood is the furthest back that is known. I remember, this might just be from the films, but they kind of hinted that the Joker was abused as a child. And again, that probably isn't. Like, I think in the comics, they kind of keep the Joker mysterious. So do they want to go back into that history? Is it worth going back there? Can we see some of the Riddler's backstory? I've always been from the Adam West series. I love the Riddler. I always thought he was one of the better adversaries. He's an intellectual character, and Batman is an intellectual hero. Killer Croc, that can happen, yeah. But then again, now when you start going into things that could be borderline mutant superhero stories, I think they want to keep this story as grounded as possible. So it's gonna be more humanized, more about human conflict, and more grounded in that manner. But again, I'm very impressed with what it did with the pilot. Or there was a 00 episode. I skipped that. I went straight to episode 1. I don't know what the 00 is about, so I might be missing a little bit of this. But when I watched episode 1, it felt like there was nothing before it. Like, that's all you needed to watch. So I don't know what this 00 is. If that's some kind of teaser or I don't know, some kind of highlight reel. Who knows? Batman: The Killing Joke. Alan Moore wrote an alternative origin of the Joker. Look at Kingdom's full of facts today. The Joker is portrayed as a former chemical engineer. Yeah, I remember that kind of reference before. Maybe that's kind of how he gets disfigured. Now a struggling stand-up comedian with a pregnant wife. Oh, that's a real different take there. He's approached by the Red Hood gang, who wanted him to lead them through the chemical plant he once worked at, so they can rob the card factory next door. Haha! He accepts in order to make enough money to start a better life for his family. Alright, and Kingdom says he's watching episode 00 tonight, so he'll let us know what the deal is with that. So there you go. That's a cool backstory. I could get down with that. So anyway, what I wanted to say, with all this zombie stuff that's been going on, I know I'm kind of going back and forth, but it got me thinking about zombie content, and I decided to go back to 28 Days Later. God, that movie's so good. You know, and from the very onset, you know, good horror movies always start off with someone doing something very stupid that either is misguided or just plain stupid, or it could be something that has a good purpose, but you know, again, misguided. So, you know, if you haven't watched 28 Days Later, basically, it all starts with these like animal rights kind of activists exposing a company that's doing experiments on animals, and they're in this lab with a bunch of monkeys that are clearly feral. They're clearly very aggressive, and the scientist comes in, drinking his coffee, realizes there's intruders, and he says, do not open those cages, please, don't know what you're doing. He's about to call security, but of course by then it's too late. What's the point of calling at that point? They they hang up the phone on him and threaten him, and he's like, don't open the cages, and they open the cages. I mean, when don't you know it? That's how the infection starts. And 28 days later, we see a guy that's coming out of the hospital. He's like, WTF? Why is the hospital abandoned? Streets are abandoned. And then it gets crazy from there. And then they have 28 weeks later, which I'm about to watch today, as I take a little break, and then get back into. I'll take a little break, and I'll probably watch it right now after the show, after I do the videos and everything. But yeah, I'm gonna watch that later, and we'll probably talk some more about the zombies. So, are you guys? Let us know. Are you excited about all the zombie stuff, or how about the non-zombie shows? Cause let's talk about this. Besides Gotham, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. came back, season 2. And let me tell you, that first episode, that premiere episode, the season premiere, Shadows, fantastic. I think Christopher Eccleston needs to come in here, because the way he says fantastic, it does it for me. Can we get a fantastic Chris? I obviously don't have my soundboard ready right now.
Fantastic! Oh, fantastic!
Thank you for that. So, Eccleston has it on point. That's a Ninth Doctor, by the way. So, I always got to bring it back to Doctor Who, right? I can't wait. I'm excited about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. As far as comic book shows, that's the one right now that I'm really excited about. That we have now. I mean, they have the Flash coming. I think they're making a Teen Titans live action show. I was hearing stuff about that. But I'm all about the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Now, Arrow is cool, but after I heard what Guggenheim was talking about, I think his name is Mark Guggenheim, he's saying that it's going to be a combination of season 1 and season 2. So Arrow's season 3 is going to be kind of a hybrid. That doesn't excite me, because I feel that season 1 was a little slow. The first few episodes, the first half, was kind of brutal for me. I could appreciate the constant flashbacks and tying it all together, but it just was a little slow. I don't know. I didn't like the pacing, but it ended up very well. Season 2 was far better for me, so we'll see. I'll still check out Arrow, but I'm really, all the things they've hinted with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., amazing. Tiger Claw saying they could have a young, Clayface or a young Bane. Clayface or Two-Face? A young Bane, I think they could do. Bane's a older character too, but I don't know. Again, I think they're just gonna do something fresh with Gotham. But if you guys, want to share your thoughts on all the TV going on right now, fall television, fall season of television, go ahead, leave us a call. Give us a call 206, well 1206-415-4987, 1206-415-4987. And now you have options. If you just want to send it as a general thing for the Geeky Antics Network, you send it to mail@geekyantics.net or just twtt@geekyantics.net. See what we have in the chat here. He's always making stuff up. Even the Joker isn't completely sure where he comes from. Like in the end of Death of the Family, Batman corners Joker, telling him he's finally figured out his identity pre-Joker. Joker instead jumps off a cliff, and Batman later admits he still doesn't know. Yeah, because he's lost his mind, right? That's kind of the whole point. And if they reveal that the background story, it might ruin the mystique of it, right? The magic. So BFT says all the games he watches are on Tuesday night. That's his game night with friends. That's one thing I do miss, like watching shows as they happen. You get to have the water cooler conversations, the gatherings, friends come over and make a day or a night out of it. That's cool. I guess I've become an antisocial jerk in my old age. I make up for it with Twitch. Hecht says Bane's at least 10 years younger than Batman. Oh, that kills that. A little fact checking there. So I guess what everybody's really excited about the Gotham stuff. Now, I don't see any chat about Zombie Nation or Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So we have a lot of Batman fans. Yeah, that's cool. So Gotham, Gotham's gonna be it, guys, I think. Well, I don't want to keep you guys much longer. I do need to give the reins of all games back to the other scheduled content, because it's already been close to 4 hours overall that we've been streaming here on twitch.tv/Geeky Antics and on allgames.com. It's been fun, guys. I wish someone would call in, then we could keep it going a little longer, but if you keep me here, I would just go on and on about whatever. And I do need to stretch out my old man legs and whatnot. So yeah, recommendations. I definitely wholeheartedly recommend Selfie, Zombie Nation, Z Nation rather. It might be an acquired taste, but Z Nation is actually going to be on ZombieCast right here on All Games. So make sure you stay tuned for that. They're going to be interviewing the folks behind that. Dare I ask what you're talking about? Waylon says. I was talking about Gotham, but I'm about to wrap up the show because everybody's scared to call in. I don't know why you guys are being shy. Maybe they'd rather just chat on IRC and Twitch. That's cool. No pressure. But what was I saying? The Strain I could definitely recommend. It's a great story. And you might even enjoy it even if you don't usually like zombies or vampires. They're doing something fresh with that. I really like the direction of that show. But yeah, if you need something that's gonna be lighthearted and make you laugh, maybe you want some eye candy, because Karen Gillan, is a looker, I must say. Selfie on ABC. I think there's good things in store for that. Feeling a little down, a little out of it, I think that's a show that will cheer you up. So check that out. Anybody else want to have anything they want to add before I really wrap this up? Maybe. This is a 2-minute warning. Again, don't forget, we can keep the conversation going. Go to geekyantics.net. And I will be streaming this weekend at twitch.tv/YogiZilla. I tend to play a lot of indie games and retro style things. So right now I've been on the FTL kick again. I might play some Scrolls because they've done a recent patch and then I've been out of the loop. Of course, Hearthstone, that's one of my go-to games as well. Rogue Legacy, I'm about to finish my first playthrough. I'm on the final boss now. I might just grind out some more to get better gear in that game. Of Krypton and Necrodancer, by the way, guys. Right now, Krypton and Necrodancer is 33% off on Steam. I know people prefer the non-DRM stuff, but it's a great game. It plays very well on just about any rig, and it's a great game to stream. It's super fun too. And even though it's a rhythm game, you know, it's got a lot of depth to it. It's a good dungeon crawler, and it's got that roguelike, randomized, dynamic kind of feel to it. King Dean wants me to ask you guys that he has his kids for sale, and it's a package deal. You get 2 for the price of 1. I think he might be willing to give them away for free, apparently. Well, with that, I do have a serious call to action for you guys, and I don't normally do a lot of like self-promotion or causes. I don't normally ask for a lot of help or money or anything. But you know, I realize it's something I have to work on, because people say, hey, just promote your stuff. How else are you gonna make a living? So I'm gonna be a little selfish right now. I would love you guys to come to geekyantics.net/blog or geekyantics.net/meet-blue BLOO. And actually, I'll get that up right now. I could put it right on the video. Right here, this should be it. That's my kitty. She's a rescue, and you know, she's going through a tough time, and then our family's going through a tough time, and you know, money's not coming in fast enough, but bills sure are. And the more I try to take on work and project and side gigs and side jobs and trying to make ends meet, the more things come up, things happen that kind of take away from everything. So it's rough, but you know, she's got some issues. It's not terribly, but it's not very bad. But I still worry, you know, because I consider her family. It's just a cat. I know some people are like, it's just a cat, stop it. But to me, she's family. So I definitely want to get her to the vet, but I know it's going to be expensive. So if you could just spare even $1, tell a few friends to do the same, that'd be awesome. The links are up on the video, which will be up on youtube.com/geekyantics. You can go to geekyantics.net/donate, or if you want the direct donation link, it's bit.ly/YogiZilla TV donate. And you can donate any amount, you know, every amount will be appreciated. And it'll mean a lot to me and my family, and of course Blue. Blue is also the kind of the mascot for our network, Geeky Antics. And all games, I hope you don't mind me plugging this on here. You know, it's an important cause for me. I try not to make a habit of it. And again, even if you can't donate, don't feel bad about it. I do not hold it against you, friends. You know, if you could just share it with people, you know, especially pet lovers. Yeah, I'm just trying to set up enough of a fund so that once I go to the vet, if there's bad news, I'll know at least I have the medication and the follow-up procedures covered. You know, because I have this thing. I hate going to the doctor or a mechanic if I don't have enough money in my pocket. Because I know I'm going to go there to have one thing fixed, or I'm going to assume there's only one problem, and then there's going to be a whole slew of things. Like, well, yeah, it's just a sprained ankle, so it's not so bad, but we did pick up something else. You have cancer. You're going to die in 10 days. You know, it's like, well, is there anything I could do? Yeah, if you have the $25,000, you know, we could do this for you. Oh, okay. I have that in my back pocket right now. And I'm not trying to be bitter, but unfortunately, that's vets and doctors and mechanics. They kind of tend to do that because they don't really care about people all the time. They just want money. Yeah, please support Blue and help us with our fundraising efforts. I will be streaming to help get that hype going. So if you see that tweet go out at YogiZilla and at Geeky Antics, just retweet it. That'll help out. I'm on Tumblr too. The Tumblr actually got some hype. We got a donation recently from a random person on Tumblr. Because I just put tag animal rescue, vet bill, cats, kittens, super cute, cuteness overload. People love cats. I definitely do. I love dogs too, but I think I'm more towards the cat side now that we have cats again. And we've rescued lots of, you know, abandoned and stray animals, you know, because people get them and then they realize, oh, this is a lot of work, or it's a lot of money. Let me just throw them out into the wild. Cats can normally fend for themselves, but you know, there's a lot of bad stuff out there too. So we try to take in animals and bring them up to snuff, and then find them good, loving homes. But right now, it figures the one that we get attached to, we can't, you know, we hit some hard times, and now, you know, bad things happen. But yeah, I'm not gonna go on with that. This is a brief little segue back to the TWTT as you know it. That's a little quick real talk for you guys. Appreciate you listening to me ramble on. And again, I apologized earlier about the weird thing. I don't know how I switched the scene on OBS, my streaming software, but you got some video of me, so you know. Oh, cats, you know. I don't know, you know, Kingdom just said, he said his cat decided he wanted to live outside. I don't believe in outside cats, personally, unless you have a yard. There's just so much stuff they be exposed to, fleas, ticks, and all that stuff. And, you know, cats can defend themselves better outside than dogs can, but still, usually you have to choose. Now, some people can have an inside-outside pet, and that's fine, but I usually tend to stick with inside pets. Easier to keep them healthy, you know. You just gotta make sure you keep them engaged, or else they'll do crazy things like tear up your curtains and your furniture. By the way, guys, we are approaching the 4th hour, so I'm gonna wrap this up here. I got a lot of video editing and audio editing to do. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'm actually starting to get hungry anyway, so that's my body's way of saying, alright, you've held them hostage long enough. Again, thanks for tuning in so much, and this has been a flawless all game stream. I'm happy with that. No one's complained about the audio quality. That makes me super happy. So, with that, I'm going to end again with the Scottish outro. To remind you that we will be back. Same bat channel, and likely same bat time. Yeah, I brought that back to Gotham. Which is Saturdays at 12 p.m. and noon. 9 a.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. in London, 7 p.m. in Bucharest. And my cat just woke up, Blue's waking up. I've been keeping her on bed rest in her little kennel, so she's probably hungry too, so we're about to have lunch. What is that, King Deem? He wanted to be a tomcat in gaming. Okay. By the way, if we get a chance after later on, it'll probably be in the evening. I'll stream and we'll do some Hearthstone. I'll catch up my quest and we can play together, King Dean. But yeah, we'll be live here at Saturdays at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, on allgames.com and twitch.tv/geekyantics. Yes, and also geekyantics.net. That's where you can meet up with us. You hear Blue in the background. But with that, I gotta get going. Love you guys. Enjoy the beauty in the world. Bring more goodness to the world. Tell someone today that you love and appreciate them. I'm not trying to be a Sam, I'm trying to be a hippie, but it's important. There's so much hate and negativity in the world. Let's bring some goodness in the world. Let's do things worthwhile. Let's give life purpose. You know, let's live worthwhile lives. I think I'm very passionate about that. As geeks, we have so many talents, let's put them to good use. That's my call to action for you guys today. And, you know, come to geekyantics.net and then we can collaborate. geekyantics.net. We can work together to do things. Oh, King Deem saying that I said I had lots to do, and he said lots of gaming. That's part of it. That'll be after I get all the work done, then I can breathe easily. And I'll see you guys again tomorrow for my Sunday vlog on my channel, twitch.tv/YogiZilla, and I'm gonna be doing a lot more gaming streams, so I can catch up with you guys. Cause it's been I took a little break there. But thanks so much again. Appreciate you guys. And here's the outro. Take it easy.
We thank you. Yomar and Stan, thank you. We thank you for every crumb, biscuit and cake you bring to the table. Because Doctor Who belongs to all of us.
What you bring to the Timey-Wimey tea time in your live chat participation, comments, likes, shares, tweets and voicemail, all of it means the world to us. Love, true love, never fails. Do you like it? If you like what we're doing, well, tell us for God's sake. Shout it from the rooftops at geekyantics.net or call it in 206 415 4987. That's 206 415 4987. That's it. Bless you. So long. And thanks for all the fish. Dawn, it won't be that long, just a wee while, because the Timey-Wimey tea time will be back. We'll return next Saturday with fresh insights, questions and epiphanies about Doctor Who. And heck yes, everything geek. Maybe same bat time, absolutely the same bat channel, every Saturday.
Timey-Wimey tea time.
Me gusta.